having sex for men may actually reduce your prostate cancer risk. I know, kind of wild, right? And actually, I'm not the only one saying this. If you Google it, it's actually pretty well-known studies that have been done looking at this, and it's been in the news certainly. But in particular, there was one study that showed that men who ejaculated a minimum of 21 times per month had a decreased prostate cancer risk. Now that is potentially huge. Now, what I will also say is that, there's a lot of caveats with this study, but suffice it to say, there may be some benefit to increased sexual activity. And with that particular study, it was simply about ejaculation. So there's a number of different ways, a means to an end in terms of ejaculating. It wasn't specific about, say, having sexual intercourse, etc. So keep that in mind, that increased ejaculation may be associated with a lower prostate cancer risk. And then let's move on. See, I'm starting out with my heavy hitters because I think these are really, really interesting. Moving on to women, people assigned female at birth. This is the thing. I think sexual intercourse and sexual interactions with a partner are so important because one of the things that it requires a woman to do is to sort of squeeze and contract pelvic muscles, sort of these muscles down here. And you might have heard of like Caudle exercises and things like that. That's kind of the idea of squeezing those muscles down there. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, the big deal with that is that strengthening of our pelvic muscles will help us in so many ways. It helps our bladder, helps strengthen our bladder muscles, etc. So when we think about risks for incontinence, bladder leakage, and other things, that can be very helpful. But having a strong pelvic floor is good for so many things. And that's a true benefit of sexual activity that comes for women. But now let's keep moving on. How many of you feel like after you have sex with your partner, you get the best sleep ever? Well, you know what? If you feel that way, you're not alone. It's sort of a fact. It's a thing. It's a real thing that, sexual activity promotes good sleep, promotes sleepiness and good sleep. And so that is something that is a huge health benefit. And sort of along those lines, but not quite, is the idea of stress. Okay. I have a number of patients that feel less stressed when they are sexually active, when they are involved with their partner. And that's a real thing too. Now, let's move on a little bit to some other cardiovascular benefits of having sex with your partner. And this is something that, and I really do believe that having sex with a partner when it comes to say the exercise stuff, I don't think is the same as with, say, simple masturbation. Okay. There are some things where masturbation and having sex with a partner, some of the outcomes are not much different, but there are some things where there is a difference. One of them is physical activity, very likely. When you are having sex with a partner, it's very likely that you're going to be more physically active. What does that mean? It means burning calories. Means really increasing your heart rate, perhaps for an extended period of time, etc. Having sex with a partner really opens up the opportunity. Look, I'm not going to say you can get in shape by having sex, but I will say that having sex is very active. And again, that getting up the heart rate, that breaking the sweat, etc., it's going to help you burn calories. And it's good for a lot of things, good for your heart, etc. There are some studies that suggest that sexual activity helps lower blood pressure. And I can absolutely believe that, can't you? I mean, perhaps it goes along with the decreased stress, good sleep thing. But, and even some data suggests that perhaps sexual activity is good for your cardiovascular health, like your heart health. So there's that as well. But now, let's go on to the hormones, okay? So when we talk about having sex with another person, there are a lot of amazing feel-good hormones that are released. So hormones, what am I talking about? Which ones? Things like dopamine, oxytocin, and then things like endorphins can be released, okay? So what do these things do? Well, we'll start with endorphins, right? So endorphins kind of like make you feel like, jazzed, right? And the endorphins can also help mask or deal with pain as well. Sometimes deal with stress. Dopamine tends to help us feel content and happy. Oxytocin is a feel-good hormone as well. And by the way, masturbation is perfectly fine. I have a video on masturbation myths. I will link that here because you should understand there's a ton of myths about masturbation. Namely, one of the big ones is that masturbation is a bad thing. Nope. Nope. Masturbation is okay. Moving on. Okay, I'm going to my whole list. Let's see here. Oh, let's talk about the relationship that we have with our partner. Okay. So, sexual intimacy is so important for cultivating relationships, for cultivating intimacy, trust, empathy, emotional connection, so many things. And it can be very hard when couples are not sexually active. Sometimes I think harder than couples realize. I have a couple of videos that I did entitled, what happens to your vagina when you don't have sex for a long time, and what happens to your penis when you don't have sex for a long time. I'll link those here. But in particular, the video about what happens to your vagina when you don't have sex for a long time, there are a lot of people that have written very, very insightful comments about their experiences, whether they're having sex or not, how long it's been, why, and how they feel about it, that I literally would suggest you watch the video and take a look at the comments as well. So if you haven't had sex for a long time, first of all, know that you're not alone. First of all, the world is not going to end, okay? Your vagina is not going to fall out, as people might make it seem like that's going to happen. Watch the video. I'm just saying I want you to feel supported and understand that if that's you, you're not the only one. But understand that if you are in a relationship, the other you, whomever you are, know that sexual connection is very important. It's very important for relationships and also to your own well-being, which is really what we've been talking about up to this point. And then the other thing I would say is that there have been some studies and some data that suggests that sexual activity helps boost the immune system. Okay, there's been a study, perhaps more than this one that I know about, that suggests that that suggested that the people that had more sex had higher IgA levels, immunoglobulin A levels. That's sort of a immune system component, right? And therefore suggesting that more sex may improve your immune system. Now, of course, these things are multifactorial. It's not just a slam dunk one and done, right? These are singular studies that I'm calling out, but I do think that there is a lot of thought about the idea of how sexual activity improves our bodies as a whole, and it does a lot of that. I want to know what you think, how you feel when you have sex. Is it a good thing for you? And I should also say, the sex that I talk about in my videos is only the sex that is legal, consensual, and safe. Okay, that is of utmost importance. Okay, but what are some of the benefits you get from having sex? I would also say that there are many people who find lots of benefits from celibacy as well. Let me not forget that. I will link a video here about that. A lot of people actually sometimes feel more clarity when they're celibate. So love to know what you think. I want you to share this video with other people. Make sure you write a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. I'm Dr. Jen. It's good to see you, practicing family physician. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell for updates. Follow me on LinkedIn. Okay, I don't usually say that one first. Follow me on Facebook. Like and follow my page. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm also on TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. And also sign up for my free daily health newsletter, guys. Gosh, I'm messing up everywhere. My free weekly health newsletter. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. Go to drjencaudle.com to sign up. I love you guys. I hope this is helpful.